Let's take some problems to understand debits and credits. We have ascertain the debit and credit from the following particulars under modern approach. Started business with capital. When you start a business with capital, what is happening? Cash is coming in on one side. On the other side, capital is also increasing. So look at here, effect of transaction. There is increase in cash, there is increase in capital. When cash is coming in, which account will be affected? Cash account will be affected. Okay, cash account will be debited or credited. Here what we have to understand the real account. Real account says debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Cash is coming in, so cash should be debited. Next, increase in capital. Account affected will be capital account, and this is coming from the owner. So this is basically personal account in nature. Personal account says debit the receiver, credit the giver. So here this capital is contributed by the owner, so capital account should be credited. Okay, this is item A. Next, item B, bought goods for cash. When goods are purchased, what is happening? Basically goods are coming in. So instead of saying goods, we call this as purchase. So your purchase is increasing, and what will decrease? Cash will decrease. So goods are coming in. Real account says debit what comes in. So purchase will be debited. Credit what goes out. Cash is going out. So cash will be credited. Look at here. Increase in stock. Account affected is purchase. As per real account rule, debit what comes in. Purchase is coming in. So it will be debited. And cash is getting decreased. Account affected is cash. Credit what goes out. Cash is going out. Item C. Sold goods for cash. So you are going to get cash. Okay, cash is increasing and goods are going out. So instead of calling goods, we'll say sales, right? So what is happening here? Goods are going out, cash is coming in. So instead of goods, we are going to say sales, right? So we'll say increase in cash, account affected is cash account, cash is coming in, so we'll debit it. Decrease in stock, account affected is sales. And here again it's a real account, right? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Goods are going out in the name of sales, so we'll credit sales. Next, paid salary. Salary account is affected and cash account is also affected. Okay, so we'll record salary is an expense, right? And expense is increasing. Debit all expenses and losses. This is the rule under nominal account. Salary is an expense, so that account is affected and it will be debited. And cash is decreasing, cash account will be affected. Since cash is going out, it will be credited. Next, received interest on investment. So you are going to get cash in the name of interest. Cash is a real account and this interest comes under nominal. So cash is increasing, cash account is affected. Since it is increasing, it will be debited. And there is an increase in income also. Income, nominal account rule says debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. So this interest account being an income, it will be credited. Next, bought goods on credit from Mr. Y. So what is coming in? Goods. Whether you have paid cash for it? No. Who had sold these goods? Mr. Y. Okay. So this purchase of goods can also be called as purchases. Okay, so instead of affecting goods account, we can also affect purchases account. Debit what comes in, goods are coming in, so we can debit purchases. Credit the giver of benefit. Mr. Y is a giver of benefit, so his account can be credited. Look at here, you are purchasing goods, so there is increase in stock. Purchase account is debited. There is increase in liability. Basically, Mr. Y is a personal account, he is a giver of benefit. So Y's account is affected and that will be credited. Okay. Next, paid rent out of personal cash. Paid rent out of personal cash. Rent is an expense. Okay. So rent account will be affected. How you are paying this rent? Is it through cash? No, it is personal cash. Owner's personal cash invested in the business is called as capital. That capital is going to get affected because of this. Okay. So when you are paying through cash, personal cash, it is indirectly you are contributing to the business. Ideally, business should have paid that rent from its cash, but instead you are paying, so it means you have contributed capital to the business, right? So increase in expense, rent is an increase in expense, it will be debited, and there is a corresponding increase in liability for the business because they have borrowed from the owner in the name of capital, and it will be credited. It's a problem on accounting equation. Let's see. Prepare an accounting equation from the following transactions in the books of Mr. X for January 2015. Number 1. Invested capital in the firm rupees 20,000. See, what is accounting equation? We know accounting equation says asset is equal to liabilities plus capital. In this case, if you notice, asset what is coming in is cash 20,000. There are no liabilities, but there is a capital of 20,000. So your accounting equation got maintained, right? Then second transaction, third transaction, but whatever be the number of transactions, this accounting equation, that is LHS, will be equal to RHS. Let's go step by step. The first item, that is on January 1, 2015, invested in the capital of the firm rupees 20,000. So the asset what we have now is cash, liability is 0, but capital is 20,000. So 20,000 equal to 20,000, right? Then on 2nd Jan, purchase goods on credit from Das and Co for 2,000. So stock is the asset that is getting increased, and on the other side liability is also getting increased by 2,000. So let's record that. On 2nd, purchase goods on credit from Das and Co 2,000. So asset will increase by 2,000, liability will also increase by 2,000. There is no change in the capital. So now the overall asset position will be 20 plus 2, 22,000, and liabilities will be 2,000. Capital will be 20,000. Look at here, 22,000 on the left hand side, 2 plus 20, 22,000 on the right hand side. So you have the revised equation, and again accounting equation is maintained. Next, on 4th, bought plant for cash 8,000. So what is happening? You are purchasing plant. So it is asset. It is going up. Okay, asset value is going up by 8,000. But on the other side, cash is coming down by 8,000, and both the transactions are within assets itself. So there is no effect on the liability or capital. Record that. On 4th, bought plant for cash 8,000. So there will be increase in asset by 8,000 and decrease in asset by 8,000. This is nothing but the cash. So what is happening to the overall asset? 22,000 plus 8,000 minus 8,000. So this remains at 22,000 itself, whereas liabilities are going to be 2,000 and 20,000. There are no changes in that. Okay, so this is the equation position on 4th. Then on 8th, purchased goods for cash rupees 4,000. So here what is going to happen? Asset will increase, that is goods will increase by 4,000 and cash will decrease by 4,000. So this is again a similar transaction. On 8th, purchased goods for cash 4,000. So there will be increase in asset 4,000 and decrease in cash, that is also an asset by 4,000. So accounting equation is maintained at 22,000 itself. Next, on 12th, we'll see what is happening. Sold goods for cash, cost 4,000, profit 2,000, so totally 6,000. Let's understand what is happening here. Cash is coming in, yes, cash is coming in, or cash is increasing by how much? 6,000 on one side. But when cash increases, your goods will decrease. What is the cost of goods that are getting decreased? It is 4,000. Okay, so what is the net effect on the asset side? It is 2,000, and you have sold this at a profit of 2,000. This will increase the capital. Okay, capital will increase by 2,000. So notice, asset increased by 2,000, capital increased by 2,000. Look at here, on 12th, sold goods for cash, cost 4,000, profit 2,000. So on the asset side, cash will come in by 6,000, but goods are going out for 4,000. Okay, on the liability side there are no effect, but capital, the profit will increase by 2,000. Already we know what is the asset position, it is 22,000. With that 22, if you add this plus 6 minus 4, that is basically 2,000, the net effect or revised equation is 24,000. And liabilities, already we had 2,000, that will continue at 2,000, whereas capital we had 20,000, now we are adding 2,000, so it will become 22,000. Okay, right, so this is done. Next, on 18th, paid to Das and Company in cash rupees 1,000. So Das and Company, who is this Das and Company, is a liability, already we have recorded. So what will happen, cash will come down by 1,000 and liability will also come down by 1,000. Let's record. On 18th, paid to Das and Co 1,000. Asset, that is cash, will come down by 1,000. Liability will also come down by 1,000. So the revised equation will be 24 minus 1, 23,000. 2 minus 1, 1,000. So 23,000 will be equal to 1,000 and capital will remain same at 22,000. So again accounting equation maintained. Next, on 22nd, received from Banerjee 300. So what is happening here? Cash will go up. And who is this Banerjee? Whether we have any prior information about this Banerjee? No. So let us assume that some amount was due from Mr. Banerjee in the past. Okay. So when cash is going to increase because we have received 300, Banerjee balance will decrease. Banerjee, since we had due from Banerjee, we would have accounted him as debtor, as an asset. So there is an increase in cash by 300 and decrease in his account balance, debtor balance by 300. The changes are within asset itself. On the contrary, I can make another assumption, received from Banerjee as an advance. In that case, I have to recognize a liability. It means asset will increase by 300, liability will also increase by 300, but I'm going to go with the first assumption. Already some due was there. Okay, so look at here, on 22nd, received from Banerjee 300. So it means cash will increase by 300 and debtors, assuming this is debtors, that will decrease by 300. So revised equation will remain same, that is 23,000 plus 300 minus 300, that is the asset, and liabilities is 1,000 and capital is 22,000. No changes. Next, on 25th, paid salary 6,000. When you pay salary, what happens? Your cash balance will come down. Okay, and salary is an expense that will result in loss and it will reduce the capital. So your capital will also come down by 6,000. Let's see. On 25th, paid salary 6,000. Asset, cash balance will come down by 6,000. No effect on liabilities. Capital, because it is eventually affecting the profit and it will reduce the capital. Capital will come down by 6,000. So what was the revised equation? We had 23,000, 1,000, 22,000. From 23,000, if you deduct 6,000, you get 17,000. And with this 1,000, there are no changes, so that remains same. Whereas capital 22,000 reduced by 6,000 will become 16,000. Okay, that is done. Then on 30th, received interest rupees 5,000. When interest is received, what is the entry? Bank account or say cash account will increase, and interest being an income, it will directly increase the capital. Okay, so asset will increase by 5,000, capital will increase by 5,000. Look at here, received interest for 5,000, asset will increase by 5,000, capital will increase by 5,000. So the overall position is 17 plus 5, 22,000, liabilities are 1,000, capital is 16 plus 5, 21,000. So net effect is 22,000, both sides maintained. Next, paid wages 3,000. So when we pay wages, what happens? Cash will go down and it will impact the profit, so capital will also come down. So asset will reduce by 3,000. Look at here, 31st, paid wages for 3,000, asset will be reduced by 3,000, liabilities no effect, capital will also get reduced by 3,000. So the revised equation is 22 minus 3, 19,000. This 1,000 remains unaltered. 21,000 minus 3,000, 18,000. So here again 19,000 on the right hand side, 19,000 on the left hand side, accounting equation is maintained.